Hi, everyone. It's Lisa with InkandInspirations.com. Thank you for joining me today. And this is an exciting week for Stampin' Up! Because our new annual catalog has launched. And I am going to show you a great project that I think would make a really nice Mother's Day gift. You know, we make cards, and you probably have some in your craft room or in your box that you store your cards in that you make, and you can gift those, and they are so appreciated. So let's get started. I'm going to show you what we're using first to create this, and then you'll be able to create your own. Okay, so in the annual catalog, the bundle or the stamps and the stamp set I'm using is a Timeless Arrangements bundle on page 67. It has these great sentiments, and the dies are fabulous. So let me just give you a peek at the dies so you'll know what I'm using here. Now, on this project, I kept it simple for the front of this folder, but you're going to be seeing other projects made with this. And you have these die-cut foliage and flowers that you can use and glue behind the labels like that and stack and layer them, and they are just precious. Look at this. See, if you cut that, then you can just glue it together and not have the individual pieces. Now, there are also individual pieces that you can cut here, plus dies that cut the stamped images. So today I'm using just one of the dies to cut a stamped image. So let me show you the project in just a minute. Here we go. And so you see this is a beautiful folder to hold some handmade cards. And I used two of the sentiments and one of the floral images, okay, from the set. Now for the designer paper, this collection, Countryside Inn, is beautiful. It's got so many blues in it. It's on page 129 of the catalog, and it has Balmy Blue, Boho Blue, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy. And I just love it. So let me show you that up close and personal here. I've used quite a bit of it already. Here's some with a little fox print. And then on the back is just an overall print there. You see the coordination of the different blues all together. Here's one with a basic white background. I'm using this print today. And then a fun stripe. Here's a print with some fun trees and flowers. And the back of that is an overall nice print. Here are some birds and flowers, really cute for spring. And then another stripe in the Night of Navy. And look at these cute little bunnies, also great for spring crafting. And then a lighter Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight on the back, or that might be Boho Blue. Still learning my colors. All right, and here's a Night of Navy stripe and flourish print, and then this beautiful floral on the back. So you can see it's very versatile and can be used for just about any project for anyone. So let me untie this so you can see how it's put together. Now you could make a set of cards to go inside of this. But if you have cards, you can just look. I tried to choose all blue based cards that I had in my stash to give as a gift, or you could make a matching set. Totally up to you. But if you're like me, you have some cards that you can gift, and they'd be much appreciated. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a piece of Misty Moonlight, and it's 6 1/4 by 10 3/4. Okay. And let's see, make sure I have everything right here. And I've got to get my scoring marks so I don't, okay, let me show you something here. I need to take out this little bit here, and those are the scoring marks. So 6 1/4 by 10 3/4, okay, and then 4 3/4 and 6 is where we're going to score this. So let's bring in our Simply Scored scoring tool. I'm going to put that long side up at the top, 10 3/4, and we're going to score at 4 3/4 and 6. Okay. All right, let's fold on these score lines, and that is going to make the outside of our folder. So let's give it a good burnish. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and score and cut and assemble this inner box that's going to go on the inside. So this one is cut at 5 by 8 3/8, and it's scored at 2 inches on all 4 sides. Okay, so let's get Simply Scored back in here. And simple scoring by using 2 inches, and I'm just going to flip it each time I score. So there's 2 and 2, 2 inches, and one more time. Okay. So now I am going to burnish on all of these score lines. This is going to make a little box that's going to hold your cards. Now, I will say that since there is not a top to the top of this folder to hold your cards in, you have to be careful if you're packaging it or if you're presenting it to be sure you present it right side up, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up to this intersecting score line on both opposite sides. So I'm going to get my paper snips and snip up. Again. And again. Okay, so to make this the assembly go much easier, I have found that if we just cut a little wedge out of each of these outer sides, it helps. I like to call it cutting off a slice of pizza. Just a real thin piece here. So you're going to start inward and just slice out to the score line. And you do not have to measure it. It's about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. It just makes for a neater box assembly. Okay, let's move that out of the way. And now we're going to put it together. We're going to fold the sides in and bring it up just like that, okay? So the adhesive is going to go right here on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. And do it on all 4 tabs. All right, let's take it and fold it up. And then come over here on this other side, just matching the score line to the edge. And then again here. Oops, looks like I didn't cut all the way to that intersecting score. There we go. Okay, match that. And then the last side here. Okay, so now we have a neat little box that's going to go on the inside of the folder. Now, we want to jazz this up a little bit. So what I did is I took a 1 by 12 piece of that designer paper. This is the designer. I'm going to use this pattern on the outside. So I decided to use this coordinating colors on the inside. And just a little tip here. You can use a shorter strip if that's what you have in your scraps. Like I've done it with 9 inches before, because this back side is going to be glued to the inside of the folder, and you're not going to see that if you would have a space there. Okay, so if you have a scrap strip of paper that you like with your project, go ahead and use it, okay? And if it's 3/4 of an inch, it's still fine. So the way I do this is I don't measure and score anything. I just kind of fold it around. I made sure it was going to go across the back, okay? And then I've just kind of taken my fingers and scoring it, okay? And I'm going to do this on this side, score, just pinch it a little, okay? And now that I have those little corners established, I can take my liquid glue, and let's see, I think I'm going to put this side to the back, maybe. It doesn't matter. It's the same. And I'm just going to put a little bead of glue going around all 4 sides, just right up there close to the top. Then I'm going to take my designer paper and match up those 2 front places where I kind of bent it and scored it with my fingers just by pinching. Let me get my rag because I tend to get a little glue on my hand when I do this. Okay, I'm going to go around with one side first, just bring it around. I try to butt it up against the top there, and if it extends a little beyond, that's okay. Okay, and then I'm going to come around on this side. There's my corner, and then it's going to overlap in the back. And then I can just take some glue and adhere that end over top. Okay, so then I'm going to kind of press it and secure it, and there's the little box for the card. Now, I'm going to wait until I put this on the inside until I've got the outside pretty much finished. But I'm going to put some liquid glue there and glue it about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. You see it's just barely up there, and center it, okay? And then when it closes, there's your little folder, all right? Okay, let's work with this outside. Very simple to put together and embellish, and you can go as fancy or as easy as you'd like. And I will say, if you have a card front or a card that you like that you could decorate the front with, you can just use the card front and put it on here. Okay, so I don't have one handy here, but it would be perfect if you already had a finished card. But I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to use 2 pieces of this designer paper, cut it 5 7/8 by 4 3/8 each, and then 2 pieces of Night of Navy cardstock, 6 by 4 1/2. Okay, 2 of those, front and back. Now, I decided you could just put this designer paper layer over the front, but I decided to go ahead and back it with a layer to make this a little sturdier, okay, and more like a book cover. So let's take these, and I'm going to just glue that over top of each side, and then we'll put it on the front and the back. So I'm just putting some glue and centering it on this Night of Navy piece. Makes a really nice border. And do the same with this. That's going to go on the back. When you're putting glue, I try not to get too close to the edge. It got kind of close there, so it doesn't squish out. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Oh, see, there it is. A little too close to the edge, because it spreads when you press down, okay? So now let's go ahead and put it on our front, but this is something that I tend to forget to do because I get so excited about putting my layers on. If you want a tie closure, you want to put it on before you put on the front and the back, okay? Because this is going to help adhere that to the folder. So I have about a 24 or 25-inch piece of ribbon here. This is that balmy blue, okay, trim that carried over. And I'm just going to wrap it around the folder here. and I don't put it too tight. I just want to get it, make sure that the right side of the ribbon is showing, and I try to get it where my ends of the ribbon are about even. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And so to hold it on, I center it top to bottom here, and I'm going to put a little Stampin' Seal Plus to hold it on. Okay, so now I can put my layers on. So let's get this glued on. Let's do the front first. Again, I'm going to use liquid glue. Try not to get too close to the edge. And you can see where that's going to help stabilize that ribbon too. Center it on the front there. Let me open this up so we can see a little better. Just like that. I'm going to pull my ribbon down a little bit before I press down. Give it a good press there. And now we're going to do our back. So let's straighten out our ribbon. And this ribbon, you could tie it in a small bow, or you could just knot it easily so that it's not hard to undo for the recipient. Okay, a little more liquid glue. Let's go ahead and secure this ribbon on the back. Center it up, top to bottom, side to side. I'm going by the fold and the edge of the folder. And then I'm going to give it a good press. Okay, so now, I mean, isn't that pretty? I love this paper. Okay, so now we have a little bit we're going to do to decorate the front. I decided I wanted like a label back, and I didn't use those fun dies because I didn't want the loose foliage to get caught on something and torn. I wanted this to be like a durable and keep this as flat as possible. But of course, it's personal preference. But I decided to use my Radiating Stitches dies, which are in the online exclusives in the online store. Okay, so I use these two smaller rectangles, and I've also cut one of the hearts. And then I'm going to show you my other pieces. I need my sample though. I want to stamp on this white first. So let me move this out of the way, and I'm going to get my mat to give it some cushion. And let me see, let me find my stamps here. Okay, I want it to say, let's see, I think I want it to say thanks from the bottom of my heart again. So let me find my thanks. And it's photopolymer, so it's going to be an easy stamp. There's thanks. And then here's from the bottom of my heart. Get another block. I need to clean my blocks. Is that what this says? Yes, from the bottom of my heart. And then I used this floral stamp, but I already have that stamped and die cut to just save a little time. Okay, so let's use Night of Navy ink, since we've used that as our accent color. And I'm going to put thanks at the top. Okay, and then from the bottom of my heart is going to go at the bottom. And I'm lining the bottom of heart up with like these radiating stitches there. Okay, and bam. Okay, and then I have this little floral image that I stamped and die cut in Magenta Black ink, and then I colored it with Balmy Blue. dark and light. And then I used sea foam for my green. Since it's such a pale green, it wouldn't clash with the rest. So I thought it would be great to put this Radiating Stitches heart behind this floral image here. I mean, isn't that sweet? Okay, so let's go ahead and put our heart on. And get that on like that. Trying to center it. And then our, whoop, kind of moved with the liquid glue, didn't it? This is going to go, I'm going to put it at an angle. So you can see why I stamped so close to the top and so close to the bottom there. So my images would not overlap. Okay. All right. Let's go here. A little bit of glue there, and I'm probably ought to put some more because, like I said, you want this to not get caught on anything where the little die cut piece would come off. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, I want that to show that that's a heart. I don't want to cover that, those little top of the heart over. So that's pretty. So I thought it needed a little something else. So I tied a basic twine bow in white, and I have it on a glue dot here. Just going to pull that off and put it in the middle. And I thought that would be pretty good on there and not get too messed up if something rubbed over it. See? So this is what I want to be sure is anchored down, those petals. Okay, now let's take the backdrop there. I'm telling you, these blues are gorgeous. And I have to tell you, when I first saw all the blue paper, I knew one of my team members, Lynn, was going to love it because she loves the blues. And I thought, that's pretty. But then when I got it, you know how it's like until you see it in person, it's like, okay, just the book, the catalog doesn't do it justice. So just take my word for it. It's beautiful. Okay, so there's that. So now let's get our folder back in here. And we can, oh, see how that stands out so pretty with that background. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Oh, okay, let's see. I'm trying to center top to bottom, side to side, and get my sides and straight. Okay, let's wiggle. That's the beauty of this liquid glue. I can't talk. Glue, because it gives you some wiggle room. I love it. Okay, so now we can put our inside box in. I'm closing this before I have a disaster. Okay, so now we're going to open this up, and we're going to put some liquid glue and put this box in, and it's going to have to sit for a minute to let it dry, but I'll open up the one that's dry. So I like to use liquid glue on this, so there is some wiggle room when I place it. And I don't know if y'all have used, I know a lot of you, Tombow, that multi-purpose liquid glue is your favorite adhesive. I know a lot of you have told me that, and it is mine too. But when it dries, it's stuck. Okay, so I'm pressing down on the inside here, okay, because I want that to stick. And then there is our folder, and it is ready for some cards. I'm not going to tie this until I'm ready to give it. Okay, so let me open up the other one. I don't want to mess with that one this much. Almost identical, right? Okay, so I just went through my cards and I found some with blue backgrounds to put on the inside. Now, this is 4 cards and 4 envelopes. You could fit 5 or 6. Okay, there's that, even though that bottom of that box wasn't very wide. Okay, it will hold probably at least six cards in envelopes for sure. It depends on how dimensional your cards are, okay? And so don't you think that would be a great gift? Okay, so this is what I was talking about, okay? So I had an idea last night before I was going to put this together. I forgot to put this underneath that, the back side. Okay. I thought, this is an old one, but I wanted to see how this would work. So we have these 6x8 cello bags, and I think I can fit, okay, this is 4 cards. So it's going to be a tight fit, but this could do for you. Okay, take a cello bag, put that in, fold it down, and this is for while you're giving it, okay? This, and then that's going to stick in there better and not fall. If they fall out, they'll all fall together, if that makes any sense. Okay, so that's an idea. Okay, all right, I do hope you give that a try. I will try to have this up on the blog by tomorrow with the dimensions and everything, but you know, I have my little post-its through the video. You could probably go back and get those. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments here, and I'll get back to you again soon. I'd love for you to try it and share it on our Ink and Inspiration Stampers Facebook group. I would love to see all the different kinds. And like I said, you probably have some cards that you can put in it already, and they don't have to match. Okay, I didn't want to give the impression, because when I went to look for more blue cards, I didn't have any, but it doesn't matter. They could be any cards that you have that they're just waiting for a home. Okay, and you can give them as a gift and be so appreciated. And very, like the cards I have in there, like one might be a birthday, one might be thinking of you, and you could even do cards without a sentiment and just let them write, you know, oops, send a letter, you know, send a note to someone. So anyway, okay, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, and I will talk to you again later. Take care. Bye-bye.